take a moment and close your eyes and to allow all of the stuff from the past to just melt away. We'll just allow the raindrops that was falling to just melt away. Any of the stresses from 5 minutes ago, from earlier in the day, to just melt away. We're not concerned about tomorrow or later in the week or next week. Let all of that just melt away. And right now, to just relax. Breathe in deeply. And as you breathe in, see that the light of God is entering into your being, is radiating around you, is entering into you, is infusing you. And this light, allow it to go into your mind and to fill your mind up completely with this brilliant, beautiful golden light. So if there's any dark thoughts in your mind, allow it to be exposed to this light, to be transitioned into the light. Breathe it in. Allow this never-ending flow of light that's filling your mind to overflow from your mind into your heart. If there's any dark places within your heart, allow them now to be exposed to the light. As that exposure is taking place, feel your body relax. Breathe it in. This is a never-ending source of love energy that's flowing in. Allow this love energy, this light, as it fills your mind and fills your heart, allow it to expand from them so you cannot tell where your heart ends and your mind begins. They're now one. More of this light love energy is flowing in. Allow it to go to every cell of your body. Allow it to flow into your intestines, flow into your kidneys, into your liver, to your abs, flow into every part of your being. And anything that light touches, we know that the darkness has no choice but to dissolve. Allow this healing to take place within your body now. Because sickness does not have a cause. It does not truly exist. Old age does not exist. We are all very vital and full of energy and full of life. We're vibrant, energized. Breathe it in. As this love light is flowing into your body, into every cell of your being, and healing and transforming all into light, allow it to continue to expand and expand outwardly from your body. Allow this light to fill the room that you're sitting in right now, and to fill this room with light. So any memories of the past of darkness, allow them to be transformed right now. Anybody that's in the home with you, allow them to feel this love, to feel this light, so it transforms their thinking, their pain, their darkness as well. And even if they're not there now, as they come back in later today, come in tomorrow, come in whenever, allow them to feel the presence, this divine presence that is flowing through you, as you now. Allow that energy to continue to expand, to fill your yard, to fill your city, to fill your state, to fill the northern hemisphere, to fill the world. And so everyone in the world right now can feel just at least a little bit more peace, because you are allowing this love, this peace to flow through you. Allow that energy to continue to expand and completes and encompasses the entire solar system, the galaxy, the universe. The universe is in your body. You are one with the universe. With that one song, that's what universe is, that one song. You are one with the oneness of God Himself. Feel that expansiveness. Feel that oneness. Feel that love, because that is who you are. Breathe that in. All of the things of joy, of pleasure, of harmony, of wealth, of abundance, all of the things that you could truly ever desire in your experience here as a human is all within the universe, and therefore right now is within you. Right now, you can claim this as yours. So as we allow ourselves to come back into our body, we bring with us the joy, prosperity, the peace, the abundance, the health. We bring that with us now. As we continue to breathe this in, we feel ourselves back into the chair. And as we're ready, still in the acceptance of all of the greatness that is truly ours, open our eyes and be here, present now. Right, awesome. It is great to see you all. Um, and so I just want to welcome you here. And, whether this is your first time joining us here on this type of call, or you've been here plenty of times before, again, I just want to thank you for giving yourself even this time. Um, and I hope tonight isn't that you'll just leave with more information. I hope you'll leave feeling lighter tonight, feeling more hopeful, feeling more peaceful, and perhaps seeing yourself maybe even a little differently than you did when you first logged in here. I want to ask a simple question. And, I've asked something similar before. And I want to ask a simple question right now. Have you ever looked at your life and quietly wondered, what's wrong with me? Maybe you didn't say it out loud. Maybe it sounded more like, why can't I get past this? Why do I keep feeling anxious? Why do relationships keep hurting me? Why do I keep sabotaging myself? Why can't I just be happy? Why can't I get my money right? Why? And I believe just about everyone has asked some version of this question along the way. And tonight, I'd like to offer a completely different possibility. As you all have heard me say, what if nothing is wrong with you? Not because you're perfect, not because life hasn't been painful, but because your true nature has never been damaged. You may be carrying fear, you may be carrying grief, you may be carrying shame, maybe carrying guilt, you may be carrying a debt, you may be carrying extra weight, you may be carrying years of conditioning. But carrying something isn't the same as being it. Right now, I'm having this flashback moment, just for a moment. And, some of you may know that as a child growing up, our family didn't have a lot of money. And so my bedroom itself was so small that it couldn't even fit a bed. Um, I had this thing that was called a flip-flop chair that I would lay down. It was just basically like a cushion on the floor, and it would barely fit. And so I would just lay that on the floor, and that's where I would sleep at night. And there was a string hanging down from the light that was the way I would turn the light on and off. Um, and so my room was what was actually once called a trunk room, if for any of you that are familiar with a trunk room. So it wasn't even an official bedroom. Um, and I remember some nights it was just so cold that there was ice on the inside of my window. And sometimes it was so cold that the toilet water would freeze up. And it's got to be cold to make that happen. And later, I remember my first job. And my first job, I made a whole $3.10 an hour. I think I heard the other day that the minimum wage is now about $20 an hour or something. I'm like, whoo. Uh, but my first job was like $3.10 an hour. Um, and I was only having to do what they were telling me to do. But then later, fast forward a bit more, I started a career in real estate sales. And my wife and I bought a house, bought a second car. Our second child was born. And when the second child was born, um, my wife said to me that she did not want to go back to work at what's now the biggest university in Virginia. So there I am, still a new husband, a new homeowner, a new dad, and now the entire financial responsibility is on me. Someone that used to have toilet water frozen, someone whose first job was $3.10 an hour, someone who at that point, I don't even know how many homes I sold at that point, but it was, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 houses or something. I have no idea. And not to mention that when we bought the house, we had to do everything in my wife's name because credit wise, financial wise, I had nothing to add to the loan. As you can imagine, fear kicked in and it kicked in strong. I mean, that doubt, that confusion, all the negative self talk that you could imagine. Um, yeah, I thought I needed to become someone else because who I was not built for this. I remember talking to a coach, and my coach talked about doing some inner work. Um, and so I took the tools that the coach gave me. And I remember just taking a weekend and going through this material and just going through it, just spending so much time with it, um, boo-hooing and boo-hooing, just crying all weekend long, just in a little room by myself, just trying to stay away from everybody. And then I thought about it as well. The coach recommended we do some specific affirmations and do some special visualizations. And as I'm going through all of this, I'm releasing so much stuff. I was realized that I was not broken. That what I was doing was I was carrying beliefs that had never been true. I've been carrying beliefs that I may have heard someone else say, and I've twisted it and I turned it and I placed it upon myself. I took different things from my worrying, my imagination, even my imagination used in the incorrect direction, and I applied them to myself. I applied them to my future. I kept telling myself before that I was not good enough. But going through this process, I realized I was not broken. I was carrying those beliefs, like I say, that have never been true. Now, as a result of laying down those beliefs, we did become ranked in the top 2% of realtors in the country. And I just jumped into that piece there just so you can understand the transformation that can take place as you start releasing and laying down these things that have been holding you back. Now, a lot of you know that I have been studying, you know, the Bible. I've studied some Buddhism. I've studied, of course, A Course in Miracles. I've studied Science of Mind, just plenty of other types of spiritual things over the, you can basically really say all of my life, but especially over the past 30 years. Now, one of the things I've really kind of thought about here is These spiritual texts do not say that you have to become worthy. They don't say that you need to become lovable. They do not say that you need to become enough. Instead, they say, come as you are. Or as it says in the course, remove the blocks to the awareness of love's presence. Think about that. It doesn't say create love, it says to remove the blocks. That means love is already here. Peace is already here. Joy is already here. God is already here. Our true self is already here. We're simply carrying so much fear that we don't notice it. Now, I imagine some of you have probably been in an airplane before. And I remember one day getting on the plane and this it was the sky was just so dark. It was cloudy. It looked like the storm was going to just really come down at any second. And I think it was just a break in the storm. And the plane we had to wait a little bit before the plane could take off. So they waited for this little break in the storm. But it almost was like nighttime. It was just so dark. And so the plane takes off and it rides up and it goes up through the clouds. And when it came out on the other side of the clouds, wow, it was just blew my mind at how brilliant and beautiful the sky was. It was perfectly blue sky, and the sun was shining so brightly, just absolutely amazing. It's like it was dark. It seemed so scary when I was down under the clouds, but to rise up above them just changed everything. Mm. And when I think about that, I think about the truth of who we are. You see, the clouds, they only hid the sun, but they never damaged it. The sun never stopped shining. And that's the truth of who you are. We take these different things, these different stories that we make up about ourselves, and it's like just simply a dark cloud, and we're covering up the light that is within us. But that light has never gone out. It could never go out because that is the essence of who you are. That is the truth of who you are. You are right now as God created you. And there is nothing that you could do to ever change that. Now, our ego, that part of us that believes that it is separated from God, that part of us that believes that it's small, what it does is it keeps whispering to us, you're not enough. You need to fix yourself. You need to earn love. You need to become worthy. But see, that's a trap. If I already believe that I'm broken, then every self-improvement project secretly becomes another attempt to prove I'm worthy. I don't believe healing begins by becoming someone else. I believe healing begins by remembering who we've always been. I'd like everyone to try something just for a moment. Just close your eyes for a moment and think of things that you're struggling with most. Maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's loneliness, maybe it's money, maybe health, maybe grief. Now, instead of saying, I am anxious or I'm lonely or I'm grieving, try saying, I'm aware that anxiety is present. Try saying, I'm aware that grief is present. I'm aware of whatever this thing is. I'm aware that it's present. Notice the difference. One way defines you, the other simply notices an experience. Now try this. I am God's beloved child. I am still as God created me. I am enjoying the presence of God at all times. And see if those words feel slightly more true than what you were thinking just a moment ago. Two things here. One is just a reminder that God says his name is I am that I am. There's a lot of power with the words I am. What are you putting behind the words I am? Are you putting something there that is weighing you down? Something that is not true of you? Or are you putting something there that is truth? Something there that you could even say about God? And so it's important how we use our words. And another thing here is that, and this is really beautiful, is that you don't have to force peace. You don't have to manufacture a joy. You don't have to try to create love. You simply uncover it. And you uncover it by releasing what was never a part of your true nature. Now, I think I'm gonna kind of go ahead and just pause right here. Um, and I like to have um, I like to actually hear from you all. Um, and and I guess this is just kind of coming up a little bit first, and I'll just kind of say this here. Um, you know, this is something that even though I'm touching on a lot of the big pieces that a lot of people will deal with, dealing with their own inner voice, their own inner struggles per se. Again, this can show up in several different ways that, I heard someone, I think it was yesterday, I heard somebody say, um, you know, I need to get my medication because of my pain. And so they were claiming these things as a part of them rather than something that they was you know, just aware of or just dealing with. And so we want to be in that place of being aware of the experience, not taking this and placing it on us. And hopefully you can feel that distinction here. But again, I would like to hear from you all. If anything resonated with you, if you have any questions, if and if questions could be about something we've talked about, or it could be about nothing we've talked about at all, because this is really just open for you all. This is about you all. And so, what comes to mind? What kind of thoughts did you do any of you have?
I'll go.
Yep.
Every moment of every day, we have a choice as to what thoughts that we're going to encourage. Thoughts are coming through all the time, but whether we stop and focus on them or just let them pass is our choice. And if I sit here and I think of all the people who have disrespected me, then I feel bad. But if I think of all the people who like me and that I like back, then I feel happy. So I'm learning to make better choices. Or when I get triggered, to not buy into that nonsense, to say, okay, it's another story. I don't have to believe it. I don't have to buy into it. I don't have to react to it. I can just let it go by and think of something else, whatever makes me happy. Even if it's a chocolate sundae, it's like, okay, I'm not going to think about something that depresses me. I'm going to go have some ice cream. It's a choice.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Yeah. Yeah. We always have that choice. What feels good, what does not. You have that choice. Anybody else had some thoughts that come to mind right now?
I have a few thoughts. I'm very happy to be here. Um, so I'm new with the Course in Miracles about 2.5 years in. So I'm understanding some of the things you're saying. I sometimes have this inner conflict around everything. I know everything you're saying is true, that the sun is up there, and it's my beliefs that are keeping me entangled in the lower vibration. But sometimes I feel irritated by, well, some people out now say to me, that never really happened. That happened in a dream, or real things that happened to me as a person. You know my story. I was adopted, and then, a whole bunch of stuff happened after that. And it's just, I stumbled along for many years. But those things really happened, and they really do make a difference. I mean, I now work as a life coach. I hear some really difficult things that happen to people. And I know the ultimate truth is the ultimate truth, that we're one with God, and that, nothing trumps that. He can, all of that can be healed. But I sometimes get confused around, I'm not saying, I just think those things are real. They did really happen. Like, there are a lot of ugly things going on in the world. Those things are really happening to people. There's real suffering. There are people who are really sick. There, so it sometimes is baffling to me, because I am in a lot of groups and I hear a lot of, that's not really real, don't focus on it, or
So Debbie, I think you bring up a very, very great question, and a thing that I believe a lot of people have a challenge with more than they let on. And
mm,
I I think, and I kind of hate to say anything negative about something, but I think part of
it's
the
not
challenge
really real.
is what what I was going to say is that there's been some that have focused in on the unreality aspect of things, and they try to make it seem as though that is the most important part of A Course in Miracles. Um, Whereas it's important, but not in the way to say, because it's not real, then that don't really matter. It also says in the Course that things have the reality that you have given them. And so they have all the reality that you've given them. And so it is real because you made it. Not that it's something that you did to yourself per se, but it's a real experience. We all go through different real experiences. That fear that I was talking about earlier is nothing nowhere near things that you've gone through, yet it's a similar type of thing, because that fear for me that I was talking about a little bit earlier was real. It kept me up at night. I couldn't sleep because I'm thinking, oh, I've got all of this on me. The pressure was real. And so all of this stuff is real. It's real because this is what we're experiencing. I think the way that the unreality of it actually makes sense is to say that we have the power to transform it. It happened. We cannot make it unhappen, yet we can change the meaning of it. We can change the way that it affects us. Now, I was talking to a gentleman a couple of weeks ago that he spent some years in jail. And he said to me, he said, Scott, the time that I had in jail was the absolute best thing to ever happen to me. Now, that sounds crazy. That sounds counterintuitive. However, the path that he was going on before jail, he couldn't stop himself from going in a certain path, to go in a certain process, to go in a certain motion. But taking the time away and being locked up, per se, he forgot his old ways. He was able to get out of that old habit to allow himself to find himself a bit more. And so
Yes.
it felt horrible to him to go to jail. You know, when he first went, it was like, I can't believe this. This is the worst thing ever. But now looking back over it, he's saying that it was the best thing ever. It was still the same process. The same thing still happened. But because it is still a projection from our minds, that means that we do not have to carry with it the same pain that we carried with it before. So that pain could be disassociated, revamped, transformed, transmuted, translated, into something completely different. There's probably all of us have had something to happen in our life that at the time it wasn't good, but later we could see where it brought out the strength in us. It brought out this love in us. I was on a call with a young lady yesterday, and one of the things she said was she used to wear this big mask, and with her wearing this mask to breathe, a lot of people didn't want to speak to her. They just wanted to look the other way because it was like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what she got, whatever. Let me look the other way. But she said this guy stopped to talk to her. And he actually understood what this was because somebody he knew was wearing a similar mask as well. And so he talked to her for about 5 minutes. And she talked about how that transformed her experience. And as a result of that 5 minutes of time, this horrible experience she was going through, and this guy stopping over to talk to her for 5 minutes, what she does now is anytime she gets an opportunity, she speaks to somebody and she speaks to them nicely. And she couldn't even really count how many people she has spoken to at this point, over the years, how many people she's reached out to with just love. And she takes it all the way back to this act of kindness that this guy did with her while she was feeling at her lowest, carrying this thing that was on her. She was actually having to carry it around. And so this horrible experience, she transformed into an amazing experience of light, an amazing experience of love. And so when the Course is talking about this is a dream, this is a projection from our minds, it is not saying that it didn't happen. Again, because it says it has all of the reality that you have given it. But what it's saying is the pain from it you no longer have to carry. It's saying to you that that happened then. Get into the now. What meaning can you give it now? Can you release yourself of that pain? That pain happened then. You don't have to have that pain happen now. You already endured it. You made it through it. You've connected to your strength. You do not have to still carry that pain around. Does that make sense the way I'm saying that?
Yes. The thing is, though, I was so happy when you liked my post the other day about therapy and psychology and spiritual transformation,
Yeah.
because most people in the ACIM would not like that because they don't believe in psychology. They believe that's a bunch of nonsense. And therapy, I don't know, but
And, and I'll just say this just real quick on that part of it, just interjecting that part here. There's a section in the Course of Miracles called psychotherapy. So
yes.
if someone is actually a strong student of A Course in Miracles, they would not, they, how could they not believe in psychology or therapy or, it
Yeah,
just, it doesn't make
but
sense to me.
it's a major part of the teaching. Yes.
And
But I
so,
was afraid to put it out there because it was something that was happening in me very deeply that people, even though you're telling me the truth, I read the truth, I know the truth, that I can change in the now. I don't have to carry all of those adoption stories and divorces and painful things that happen. But my thinking is people need a place where they can really talk about it.
yes.
Some people, I'm one of those people. I needed to go to therapy and I needed to study psychology on my own to understand and promote my own healing. So, what I'm saying is just because we say I'm in the now doesn't mean I'm not still carrying shame, doesn't mean I'm not still blaming other people and projecting my stuff on other people.
And, and I support everything you've just said. And one challenge that I'm hearing a lot of people will experience with therapy is that sometimes they're just going to a therapist and they're just talking about their problems. They're talking about why this affects them. And though talking about something can release some of the pressure, it really truly can release some of the pressure. And depending on how everything else is going on in your life, that may be all that you need. And so that type of therapy can help a lot of people to get themselves back to where they need to be. I've talked before about a stress cup, and this vision is just kind of coming back to mind right now. And I can't remember if you all are familiar with this or not, but but imagine that we have a cup inside of us that holds stress. And if that stress comes overflowing out of the cup, that's when we get anxiety, we get depressed, we start getting physical illnesses, we start getting these physical symptoms, these types of things happen. We're not sleeping at night, we wake up, and what happens is over time, maybe we scream, maybe we beat a pillow, maybe we talk to somebody, we can reduce the amount of the stress in that cup. Maybe we go to a therapist, we reduce the amount of stress in that cup. And so as long as it's not overflowing, we're okay. Anytime we're in a prayer, anytime we even sleep at night, we're reducing a little bit of that stress. That's the reason why we get stressed, we get lazy, no matter speaking. It's like we get tired. We don't want to do anything because our body is trying to process some of that. It's trying to reduce the stress in that cup, right? Now, if we are able to keep it not full, we're able to keep our sanity, right? We're able to be okay. But if we still have more stress coming in to us, then that stress cup is consistently overflowing, right? And so the key piece is we want to make sure we're doing things to keep the stress cup as empty as possible. And so talking about our challenges, our problems, can reduce some of that stress. But if it's not taking it down far enough, because some of us had a lot of stuff, and some of us have a lot of stuff to just keep coming at us. And it could be actual other things coming at us, our environment, the people around us, our family, all this stuff coming at us. It can be our thinking sometimes that comes at us. You know, how many people jump when there's a thunderstorm and they hear the thunder? It's a little extra piece of stress that goes into that cup. The key piece, I believe, is when we can begin to start changing our perspectives, when we can start claiming our divinity, claiming our power to be able to transform things around us, to say that this is an illusion and I have the power to transform it right here, right now. And we start making those decisions. And so, as we start making those decisions, when that thought of littleness comes up, that thought of littleness that says, I'm always a victim, we can actually release that thought from us completely. Whereas with some therapy, you talk about it, but you don't necessarily release it. And so what I'm suggesting you do is you release it. You take it out of you all the way completely. And so every little thing that comes up, every feeling that comes up, no matter how big, how small it is, it doesn't matter. Every thought that says that not now, or it's too late, or you're not enough, or you're not ready yet. Any of those thoughts can be released, not suppressed, not pushed down, because if you suppress it, if you push it down, it's just there still in your stress cup. It's there still in your consciousness. It's there still being that projection, creating your experience, the experiences in your body and the experiences in your body of affairs. And so it's consistent, whatever is in there, whatever is in our consciousness is what's affecting all the things around us. So to be able to release it completely. And it's different ways to release it. Um, Christine, I was talking to Christine that's on the call now. I was talking to Christine yesterday, and she shared with me something that was new to me, but I love it. And so she was talking about, if you have this thought, whatever this thought is, just take your finger and imagine putting it right there in your third eye and just reaching back with a flame and just burning the thought up. And I think I say that the right way, Christine. If I didn't, correct me. But to just to take it there, as that thought is in your awareness, is take your finger there and just imagine a flame just burn that thought up. And so now that thought is just released, is burnt up, is exploded. It's as if you just took it to the sun. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And so
Yeah, and you don't have to take it, you don't even have to take your finger there, just that place at the third eye, and you put the flame in that location and take that flame to the middle of the brain, but go to the thought and burn the thought with fire.
and it's beautiful and it's simple. How long does that take?
And it worked.
And
Like,
after you shared that with me, I had a thought last night that came up, and I was like, let me see. Gone.
yeah, and you don't even have to put your finger on. Just think of that place, your third eye, and just put the flame and you can even have the flame travel in the middle of your brain. You can what I actually saw was like, was almost like I put it in the flame and it went into a temple. Like, the temple part, you know what I actually thought? You know that temple part that in Wizard of Oz, when they've gone to see the Oz and now they're leaving the Oz, and they're in the shiny floor and the black space.
Okay. Yes.
And it's this long, narrow hallway, and it was like my flame went through that long, narrow hallway to the thought and then burned the thought. But that's all that it has to do. And the minute I thought that, the minute I burned it, the thought was gone. It was like poof.
And it's so quick.
Yeah.
It is so quick. And so there's so many different processes that we can use to get into that holy instant. And in that holy instant, release whatever it is. And the thing is, when it's released, if it's burnt up, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. It's changed form. If you take it and you gift it to the Holy Spirit to transform it into light, it's gone. And it's different processes that can be done. The key
Well, I've
piece
also
is
just, oh, go ahead.
the key piece is just to get it out of us completely. Christine, was that something quick you wanted to say?
Yeah, I apologize. What I was thinking as you're talking about this, the more we practice the more I practice the releasing, the faster and the better I get. And it takes a while because I've had a whole lifetime of holding on and accepting that these thoughts are true.
Mm-hmm.
And since I've been working with you, Scott, it's getting a little bit easier, sometimes faster than others. And it's a lot faster, and it happens quicker.
Yeah, yes. And it happens more quickly for two reasons. One, you've gotten rid of some stuff, and so now it's easier to get rid of some more stuff. Because as you let some things go, more things come up. And because they all want to leave anyway. And so as it comes up, you can just let it go. But then also your faith becomes stronger. Your believability that you can release it, that you can feel better, becomes stronger. And as your faith grows in it, then it's like, oh, I can release this too. Oh, I'm gonna let this go. Oh, I'm gonna let this go. And we just continuously just start letting things go. And so so again, Debbie, the stuff you're talking about, in my opinion, and I believe, as the course says, it has all of the reality that we give it. So it is real. It is real. The difference is that it's not truth. Truth is that what's true of God is what's true of you. The truth is that your light will never go out. The truth is that you are beautiful, you're magnificent, that you are loved right now. And that's the truth that I would want all of us to really be able to connect with. And each time that we might be feeling something that is pulling our energy down, is spiraling us down, it's important for us to find a way to stop that spiraling down. And for me personally, I have found that the easiest way to stop that spiral down is to remember how magnificent God is. To remember that this is the create. And by the way, Deb, this is one of the other things that some people in the course groups will not like what I'm about to say, that God is the creator of the universe. And for those that have said to me, well, God didn't create the universe, we did. And I would say to them, with what power? Because I do not know how to create a universe. I ain't got no idea how to create a universe. I could not have done that. I had to connect to some other power. And so when I think about God as the creator of the universe, the creator of the solar system, the galaxies and the planets, is the power that keeps the planet spinning properly and orbiting around the sun with perfect unison, perfect synchronicity each and every time. When I think about that, when I think about this same loving power is the power that makes sure that every insect is fed. The same loving power is the power that allows grass to grow and trees to grow magnificently tall. That same power loves you. That same power is in you, is one with you. That same power is right there willing your happiness. When I think about that this power wants me to be happy, this power is saying that I have a purpose here, and it has faith in a knowing that I will fulfill my purpose, that starts to transforming everything. I can let go of the pains, the doubts, the self-sabotaging, because I know that this power has my back. This power is guiding me. And all I have to do is just let go of these painful thoughts, these thoughts of littleness, and remember the truth. Remember what God is saying to be true, what Jesus is saying to be true, that and again, this is one of the thought patterns we've talked about before. Sometimes people will say, well, Jesus is up here and we're down here. Well, what does Jesus say in the Course of Miracles? Jesus says we're level. He's just like an elder brother. And so we don't bring Jesus down here to us. We let Jesus stay on this pedestal and we rise ourselves up here because we too are the holy, blessed children of God. We too have the same Father. I and my Father are one. That same power flows through us and to allow us to bring things into transformation and disillusion, to bring to us happiness, to bring to us harmony, to bring to us peace, that joy, that abundance. Those are our inheritance. That is who we are, because these are the things that God has gifted to us. And so as we think about this type of thing, it can stop that spiraling down because we're reminded of the truth of who we are. We have simply been just carrying too much. We've been carrying it. That doesn't mean that it's a part of us. That means that it's something that is in our hands. It's like right now I'm carrying this and I just put it down. It is time to put down some of the stuff that we have been carrying. You've been carrying it so long. You've carried it so far, and it's just been weighing you down. Right now is the time to put it down. Gift it to God. Gift it to the Holy Spirit. Gift it to Christ. Let them transform it. One of the things that is one of the teachers of A Course in Miracles, named Kim Severin. One of the scenarios she shared with me before, and I love this. She imagined in one of her visualizations, she imagined this tall staircase. And so she went up this tall staircase, and Jesus was at the top, and he just hugged her. He embraced her. He just loved her. And she was able to let go of so much stuff. And she came back down those stairs and she grabbed different people and carried them up and gave them to Jesus and just let him love them, let him just fill them with light. She took her problems up and just gave them to Jesus and just allowed him to just love it, to dissolve it, to make it something new. And again, that's one of the ways of releasing. Just take whatever it is, take your children and just carry them up to Jesus and let him love them. Take your fears, take them up to Jesus, let him shine the light in it. Because anything of darkness, what happens when you turn on the light? The darkness ceases to exist. And so it's about us turning on the light. And we have the ability to do that at any time. And so when we talk about things being an illusion, it's just letting you know that you have the ability to transform it, to change it, to play with it, to mold it, to shape it into that which is better for you, that which is more harmonious, that which is more peaceful, that is of good report, that is that which is abundant, because that is the truth of who God is, which means that is the truth of who you are. Hopefully with that, I'm answering your question well enough. and I say all of this with just so much love right now. And hopefully you can feel the love that I'm feeling right now. Hopefully you can feel the gratitude that I'm feeling right now. And that gratitude is because I know. I don't just think it. I don't just believe it. I don't just have faith in it. I know that God is right there with you, loving you right now. Right now, his presence is not just enveloping you, not just hugging you, it's infusing you. It is you, is one with you. You are that extension of God. You are that love manifest in form. God loved you so much, he allowed you to have form. That's just an amazing feeling when I think about that. Absolutely amazing feeling. And so just to feel that, embrace that. Take this thought with you because this is who you are. And as you're running across other people, play around with seeing them that way as well. As a gift to give to yourself as you give it to others. That gift of truth. Because that is who you are. Like, I thank you all for your time here tonight. And I really do hope that you've gotten something out of this time. I know just the feeling that I'm having now. I'm thankful that you all are here, because if you all weren't here, I wouldn't have this energy flowing through me as me right now. And so much gratitude to you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott. Great information.
Every time I come here, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm most grateful. I'm so happy to hear everything. There's a lot to learn. And the more we hear it, the more we gather together, the more it works on us. Life, love, the spirit works on our mind.
Just think, there's one mind, the mind of God, and we just simply share in that mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have this egoic thought pattern over here that is, whatever. It's error in thinking. However, our true mind, our Christ mind, is one with the divine mind. All knowledge, all wisdom, all power, all love is yours right now. All we need to do is accept it. So, but again, thank you all. I could talk about this type of stuff forever, but I don't want to keep you. So you will have an amazing time. I thank you again.
Thanks.
Thank you. This was amazing.
Good night.
See you soon.
Night.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.